everybody. Welcome to the 4Life product training call, coming to you from the 4Life Research home offices in Sandy, Utah. I am Daniel West, and today I will be your host. 4Life is a company with thousands of distributors on 6 continents who are daily making a positive difference in people's physical and financial health with patented and proprietary products. They are products that have withstood the test of time, helping people and their animal friends. Products that can help your body with today's challenges. Products you can be confident will be on the cutting edge of science for the challenges of tomorrow. They are products you can simply use and share with your loved ones, as well as build a business with if you choose. I am grateful to have Director of Health Information Services, Dr. Brent Vaughan, PhD, join us on the call today. Brent, thank you so much for being with us on the 4Life product training call today.
Hey, you're welcome, Daniel. Thank you for giving me an opportunity.
We're very grateful to have you with us. And Brent, to start off, could you please just quickly tell us a little bit about your history with 4Life, as well as your role as the Director of Health Information Services?
Sure. I've been with 4Life now about 10 years. I've been working in the dietary supplement industry for just over almost 17 years now.
Wow.
All the time with 4Life, I've been working in the research and development group directly with product formulations and product research. The Director of Health Information Services role puts me in charge of a lot of the educational aspects of the research and development group, so I work with a number of people dealing with finding the research to substantiate the claims and the formulations that we put out, and then also working directly in the formulations side of things, finding the ingredients, the amounts, looking at the research behind all that, and coming up with the combinations of ingredients that we feel provide the greatest benefit. And then also now working with Dr. Lockwood in doing the research to support those claims and to prove the efficacy of our products.
Wow, that's amazing. 17 years, that's a very long time, so there's a reason why we have you with us, and we're very grateful for what you're doing for life. And you, as you mentioned, you have the opportunity to work with the formulation of many of our products, and you have the advantage of knowing exactly why each ingredient is placed in our products. What types of things does 4Life take into account when creating a targeted transfer factor product?
When we talk about targeted products, what we're really talking about is a specific body system or function of the body that the product is targeted toward. So what that means is we've taken, say, heart health, and we've looked at ingredients, vitamins, minerals, herbal components that all have beneficial effects on the structure or function of your heart, how well it beats, blood pressure, flow of the blood cells themselves, all aspects of your heart and circulatory function. And we look at which of these ingredients support those functions, and we look for which ones provide the best benefit for the smallest dose, and then which ones we think will have some kind of a synergistic response, meaning will they not just add to each other's, but actually kind of multiply the effects of each other so that you get an additional benefit for putting the combination of those ingredients together. Now, in some cases, that's all spelled out in research. In others, it's more of a kind of an intuition or an art of sorts, if you will, in how we put the formulas together. And then we do that, and if we have the money for it, we'll also then put that into a study so that we can show that synergistic effect, or the fact that the combination of ingredients provides a benefit in that particular targeted area.
Well, for me, that just provides a lot of comfort, I think, to our distributors as well, to know that our science team is going into such great lengths to make sure that we always have the best ingredients and the appropriate ingredients in our products. Now, here at 4Life, we have 8 different targeted transfer factor products. And today we were just going to talk about 5 of them, leaving the other 4 for next week. And there's so much that we could share about each of these products, but today we were just going to focus on some of the key ingredients of each of them, as well as the primary benefits that we can receive by taking them. So to begin, let's start with 4Life Nanofactor Glutamine Prime. And Brent, can you tell us a little bit about this amazing product?
Sure. Glutamine Prime is actually what I like to refer to as a companion targeted product. So it's not one that you would necessarily take by itself. It's meant to be taken with one of our transfer factor products, whether that be the Trifactor, the Plus, the Rio Vita, any of those, even the Classic. You want to have some kind of an immune support product to go along with Glutamine Prime. Now, this one sits in the targeted line because it is targeted towards your immune cells, but not in the same way that our other immune support products are. So to give you a little bit of background on that, most of you know that your body needs sugar to provide the energy for your cells to operate. And that applies to just about every cell in the body. They need the sugar from your diet in order to stay alive and do the processes which keep us alive and moving and healthy. Now, the immune cells, in addition to being able to use the sugar as an energy source, use glutamine, which is an amino acid. And they call it a conditionally essential amino acid. What that means is in certain situations where your demand is higher, the body cannot make enough to meet that demand, and therefore it must come as part of your diet. And that's where glutamine prime comes in. So when you have an additional immune stress or additional needs for your immune system, they will turn towards glutamine for that energy source. And so by taking that in a supplement form, you're making sure that your immune cells have all the energy reserves that they need to perform their functions. Now, in addition to the glutamine, this product also contains a number of other ingredients which help in the production of a particular antioxidant called glutathione. This is the body's main antioxidant defense. And as you know, when your body is under stress, there's a lot of oxidation that occurs. And that buildup over time is what leads to aging and a number of other diseases. And so having good antioxidant there helps to maintain the health of your body and to keep those oxidative processes in check. And so the combination of extra glutamine with this glutathione support makes glutamine prime an excellent product to help not only provide the energy for your immune cells, but also to help keep them healthy and other aspects of your body healthy as well.
Now, does the 4Life Nanofactor Glutamine Prime specifically target the immune cells, or does it also help other cells in the body?
Well, for the most part, it's going to be immune cells. Just as kind of a little bit of a side note, your gut also uses glutamine as an energy source. And so those two tissues can utilize that extra glutamine to improve the way that they function, help to maintain their healthy function. And so there's going to be additional benefits elsewhere, and then obviously the glutathione benefits are going to cover the entire body. It's not just the immune response that deals with oxidation, but any exercise, breathing oxygen, that's the biggest oxidizer out there. So those benefits carry across system-wide.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for explaining that for us. And let's continue on with 4Life Transfer Factor Recall. And Brent, what can you tell me about this product?
You know, I had a bunch of stuff set up for this one, and I've completely forgotten what it was. It's probably something I should take for that. No, I'm just kidding. So, Transfer Factor Recall, one of our earlier targeted products, and as many of you know, this one is targeted towards the brain and nervous system. Now, your brain covers the entire body. It controls your thoughts, your emotions, the function of most of your organs, muscle movement. All of that goes back into the brain and the nerves. And so having good support for your brain and nerves is essential for good health. Transfer Factor Recall is what I like to call a building block product. So where you have other products that help support functions and other aspects of health, this one is mostly providing your body with the building blocks it needs to maintain the health of your brain and nerves. So to give you an example, you have in this one the glycerylphosphocholone, which is one of the main fats, in a sense, that your body uses to produce or to manufacture its nerve cells and brain cells. And so that, along with phosphatidylserine, are all kind of building blocks for nerve tissue itself. So any kind of damage that may occur or any remodeling that happens as part of normal healthy living, you now have the building blocks present to make sure that your body can do that repair and building when it needs to. Now, in addition to that, your brain and nerves use a number of different chemicals to communicate. So those will transmit signals back and forth, which show up to us as memories or thoughts. That's all done through chemical signals from one nerve cell to another. In addition to that, any movement that you do requires one of these neurotransmitters. A signal is sent from one nerve cell, and that signal travels via chemical all the way down to your bottom toe there, and you wiggle your toe. That's all done through neurotransmitters. And so having the building blocks for those makes sure that your body can create those transmitters as needed. And normally your nerve cell will produce a bunch and kind of store them in a little sac, and then depending on the signal, will release them. But you need to make sure that there's enough of them in that sac in order for that signal to be transmitted, as the intensity of the signal is directly in relation to the amount of the neurotransmitter that's released. And so making sure that your body has those building blocks not only to produce the appropriate tissues, but also to help in producing those signal molecules is essential to brain and nervous system health.
Well, so this product not only helps us as far as our memory goes, but also brain function in general, which affects our entire body.
Right, and the nerves touch everything. They go your gut, they go to your, obviously to your muscles, your touch, sensations of heat, cold, all that stuff is all done through neurocommunication, all through those chemicals and through your nerve tissues.
Very interesting. I had no idea that it affected so much, such a big part of our body. I was just thinking it was just for memory, but that's so great to know. I'm sure that's going to be helpful for all of our distributors as well. So let's move on to 4Life Transfer Factor Cardio. What are the key ingredients and benefits of this product?
Now, cardio has a lot of stuff in it. I don't know that we don't necessarily want to go through one by one on each of the ingredients here to cover why we put it in. So I'm going to kind of lump a few of them together, and then we'll talk about a few of them individually.
Okay.
So, kind of start off with, you have a number of vitamins and minerals that are in here. Now, all of us are aware of the need that vitamins and minerals. A vitamin actually comes from when they were first discovered, it was called a vital amine, and then vitamin is kind of the contraction for that. And the reason it's called vital is if you don't eat these, you will not survive. These are essential nutrients that your body must take in through the diet in order to maintain health. And deficiencies in the vitamins lead to a number of negative health effects. And everyone's heard the stories of scurvy. That's a deficiency of vitamin C. And so, that being said, there are a number of them which have specific benefits towards heart and circulation. The ones that have been included in 4Life Transfer Factor Cardio are those ones that have been shown to be key in the function of the heart and circulation. Some of these are antioxidants. Again, we talked about that earlier with the glutamine prime. Oxidative stress is a big factor in cardiovascular health. As we age, that oxidative stress can lead to hardening of the arteries. It can lead to problems with blood flow, and is implicated in high cholesterol and cardiovascular disease as one of the factors in those conditions. So making sure that you have the appropriate antioxidants helps to maintain your health, and it keeps you healthy for a longer period. And so these vitamins are ones that are particularly shown beneficial in aspects of circulation. Now, the selenium is one of those antioxidants, vitamin A, C, and E. Those are all really well known. We also have a number of B vitamins in here which help with different aspects of some of the components in your blood. Everybody's heard of cholesterol. There's other things like homocysteine, which are implicated in heart disease as well. And having adequate vitamins helps to maintain proper levels of that homocysteine as well, which, again, helps to maintain overall cardiovascular health. So now we kind of move into some of the herbal components in cardio. Everyone's heard of garlic. Most of you probably are familiar with some of the benefits that have been listed for garlic in terms of cardiovascular health. It helps to maintain healthy cholesterol, has some other benefits in terms of healthy blood pressure, and some of those other things. Hawthorn tends to focus directly on circulation around the heart itself. Now, obviously, if you have poor circulation in your arms or legs, you get kind of cold and other things. But if you have poor circulation around the heart, that affects the entire body. If your heart's not healthy, then it's not getting the blood distributed throughout the rest of your body, and everything else is going to suffer as well. So helping to maintain healthy circulation to the heart itself is essential to overall cardiovascular health. And kind of moving out into the periphery a little bit, you have the butcher's broom, which helps to support circulation in the arms and legs, some of the extremities. The red rice yeast in here is working with helping to maintain those healthy cholesterol levels, specifically with the way that your liver metabolizes cholesterol. The ginkgo, many of you look at this as more of a nervous system product or an herb, but it actually works with the circulation to the brain. So here again, we're looking at circulation in a specific section of the body. We've covered the heart, we've covered the arms and legs and the peripheral circulation. Now we've also got something in here to cover circulation to the brain as well. And then resveratrol just adds to the antioxidant benefits with those other vitamins. The coenzyme Q10 this is a little side note here. Coenzyme Q10 is in high concentration in muscle tissue, and it is part of the way that your body utilizes energy. So as you're breaking down that sugar and converting it into the energy form that cells use, coenzyme Q10 is a key component of that process. And so there are higher concentrations of it in all of your muscle tissue. And as your heart, again, is a muscle, it contains very high levels of coenzyme Q10. So making sure that you get adequate amounts of that in your diet helps to maintain that energy production and utilization cycle that is occurring all day, every day, for as long as we're alive. And so having all of these things combined helps to cover multiple aspects of your heart, circulation and helping to maintain the health of it throughout the entire body.
Well, that sounds like the perfect product for our cardiovascular system, and it shows the dedication that our science team has to combine so many different ingredients to support our cardiovascular health. The next product that I would like to discuss today is 4Life Transfer Factor Gluoach. Can you tell us more about this product?
Sure. This is actually one of the first products I worked on when I started with 4Life, so it's a little bit special one to me in a sense. Gluoach is one of those products that's meant to help with your pancreatic function. The pancreas is a kind of a dual function organ in the body. It's one that produces hormones which help regulate blood sugar levels, and it also produces some enzymes which aid with digestion. Now, in terms of the Gluoach product, we're working mostly with the hormonal aspects of that organ. And so the main focus here is to help maintain healthy blood sugar levels. We do that through a number of different ingredients. And I like to use this one to illustrate kind of the multi-directional approach that we take in formulation. So there's only a limited number of aspects which affect healthy blood sugar levels. And you can work with the amount of insulin that's produced by the pancreas, or it can deal with how the cells use the insulin to bring sugar into the cells. It can affect how sugar is absorbed, and then how that sugar is utilized by the cells. And so all of these factors help maintain a healthy blood sugar level, and each of the ingredients in here work on different aspects of those factors. And so you have a number of herbs which work directly with the pancreas in its production of insulin. Insulin is the hormone that your body uses, the cells of your body use, in order to get sugar from the blood into the cell where it can then be utilized as energy. So the more insulin you produce, the more sugar will come out of your blood and into the cells. But too much insulin leads to weight gain and a number of other factors, and so you want to make sure you have an appropriate level there. And these herbs will help maintain proper insulin production so that signaling occurs for the body cells. Now, there's also a number of other receptors on cells which are not as sensitive to insulin but can still pull that sugar from the blood into the cell itself. And there are some of the herbal components in here. In particular, the fenugreek is good in this respect in helping to get that sugar again from the blood into the cells where it can be utilized. Now you have the vanadium and chromium, two minerals in this one, which work with how the cells themselves utilize that sugar and the insulin once it gets in contact with them. And so you're enhancing the way that the cells utilize the sugar that's available to them. You have the gymnema, which a lot of you may be familiar with in using the Gurmar product, which works in kind of multiple aspects here. It starts by aiding the way the body absorbs the sugar from your diet, so that it's helping to maintain a level absorption rate. So it's not all coming into the body at once, but is being absorbed a little bit more slowly, so that the body has more time to deal with it, and that the insulin release is not so huge right up front. It also then aids with the way that the cells themselves utilize that sugar. You have a number of herbs and minerals in this case that are working from different directions, all towards the way that the body absorbs and uses the sugar from your diet, helping to maintain that healthy balance. And so by coming at it from multiple directions, you can use smaller amounts of each one and still get a pretty profound effect. Now, one thing, a caveat with this product, some of these things do take a number of weeks of supplementation in order to reach their maximal effect. You have to reach a certain level of accumulation within the body before that top effect works. So when you're taking this one, keep an eye on your blood sugar levels and your health for 1 to 2 months before you may see the maximum effect that the product will provide. And you should see general improvements in maintaining that blood sugar control as you take it over that 2-month period.
Thank you so much for explaining that. I think that's very important for distributors to understand, because so many times people may take a product and they don't feel the benefit right away. And in a case like this, it's very important for them to realize it's just one of those products that's going to take a couple months to get the best effect. And this is the best approach they can take and to reach that objective. So thank you so much for that information. And for the final product of today, let's talk about 4Life Transfer Factor KBU. Brent, what can you tell us about this product?
This is another one of my favorite ones. This is one that I wanted to do pretty much from the time I started. Kidney health is one of those things that a lot of people don't pay attention to until it becomes a bigger issue for them. But it's something that obviously affects all of us. And so this product we'd actually talked about for probably 3 or 4 years before it ever got produced. And once we did make the decision to go ahead and release it, it was kind of a little happy moment for us here in R&D to be able to produce something we thought could really benefit a number of people, and it may, in some cases, be kind of overlooked by those who could benefit from it. So, with that being said, this one covers multiple aspects of urinary and kidney system health. Now, your kidneys are the filtration process for your body. Their main job is to take some of the byproducts of digestion and some of the other things that we may encounter, and it's just part of normal life, and clear them from the blood and get them out of the body through the urine. Along with the liver, this is the main detoxification system that the body has. And so maintaining proper health of your kidneys maintains proper health of your whole body. And a lot of times, your kidneys will have struggles for months or years before you'll see any effects in your overall health. And so that's why I kind of say it gets overlooked, is by the time you recognize an issue with this system, it's been going on for a while. And so having good nutritional support for your kidneys and urinary system while you're younger and years before anything might happen can help maintain your health for much, much longer. Some of the key ingredients in here, cranberry is one that most people recognize when it comes to kidney urinary health. It's been shown in multiple studies to improve things in terms of urinary tract infections and dealing with maintaining the health of the lining, in particular, of your urinary tract, and making it difficult for those organisms that can cause those kind of problems to get a foothold and then cause an infection. You have, with this, the blueberry and lingonberry, which are similar to the cranberry in terms of the content of active components that they have, providing a similar benefit. But again, this is going to that kind of synergistic approach here, where you're not just relying entirely on these compounds from cranberries, but we're adding to it some from blueberry and lingonberry. And then the D-mannose is actually just a sugar, and you'd wonder why sugar would make a difference here, but it kind of does the same thing in helping to maintain the smoothness of the lining of your urinary system, so that not only does the urine and everything else flow through smoothly, but it makes it much more difficult for anything else to hang on and be able to take up residence there that you may not want. There's what we call the kidney support blend in this one, a number of different herbs which cover everything from a little bit of a diuretic effect, meaning that it helps your body produce more urine, and that in and of itself has some beneficial effects. I mean, most of us are familiar with the adage that you should be taking 8 glasses of water a day. One of the reasons why you should be doing that is it helps to increase the amount of urine that you're producing, so it's constantly flushing the system out, and again, making it much more difficult for anything to get a foothold in there. And the more that you're pushing through that system, the more you're kind of cleaning it out in the process. And you have some other components in there, the IP6 and the Chancopiedra. Those herbs have been shown beneficial in helping to keep the urine in a liquid form. And then any kind of deposits or whatever that might occur are kept to a minimum and are kept smoother so that they, again, will flow through the urinary system without causing any problems. And the last aspect of this product I want to talk about is our pH balancing blend. Some of you may be familiar with the stuff you can find on the internet about alkaline-forming foods or acid-forming foods and having a good pH balance within your urine. There's some research out there that shows the benefits to maintaining a healthy pH in your urine. And what we've provided here is a number of bicarbonates and the apple cider vinegar, which help to maintain that healthy balance. Now, one of the things that your kidneys does is to help maintain the pH of your blood, which, in order to be healthy, has to stay within a very narrow range. I mean, we talk about pH, we're talking about the acid-base balance within your blood. And so one of the main functions of that kidney is if you have too much acid in your blood, it'll pull that out and excrete it in your urine. If you have too much base or alkalinity, it'll also pull that out and, again, excrete that through your urine. Taking in these compounds helps to balance that and to maintain that healthy pH within the urine, which research has shown provides a number of health benefits. And so this combination is not only benefiting kidney health, but it's taking a much more systemic approach and aiding in the balance and health of your body overall. And so you put all these things together, and you're maintaining, urine production, the quality of urine, the healthiness of your urine tract, and then also dealing with that balance throughout the entire body, all together in one nice little package.
There's so much detail into what you've explained, and that's all the products we're going to go over for this call. But one thing I've really loved about this call is that it shows that there is a reason for every ingredient and everything we do in the formulation of our products. And it's great to hear you talk about, because you've been involved in the formulation of our products, and so we can see through what you've explained what was maybe the thought process when you were looking into formulating these products. So I think that shows people that we really do take our products very seriously. We're not just throwing stuff together and trying to sell it. We're trying to make a difference in people's lives and things that will help support them in the very best way with their health. As I said, those are all the questions we have today. Thank you so much, Brent, for being with us on the call. And I'd also like to thank all the distributors who were on the call today. Hopefully we will all utilize the 4Life products to help ourselves and others find optimal wellness. Please join Dr. Brent Vaughan, PhD, and me next week as we will be focusing on 4Life Transfer Factor Bel-V, 4Life Transfer Factor Mel-Pro, 4Life Transfer Factor Vista, and our most recent product, 4Life Transfer Factor Renewable. Plan to join us on 4Life Live and the product calls weekly. Use them both to introduce individuals to the opportunity of better health that is 4Life. Have individuals on your team listen to better understand the products and learn ways to build their businesses. If you want to listen to this call again or have someone else do so, please call 530-881-1219. Again, 530-881-1219 and use meeting ID 841-832-629#. Again, 841-832-629# is the meeting ID. And also, please make sure to check out 4Life Live on YouTube, and the 4Life product call will be available on YouTube as well. Thanks, everybody. Take care, and have a great week.